हात गोडा थम्मर थुम्बर यो सौबाकी छोरी
नाकमा रहेछ छत्र फुली मुखमा रहेछ गोरी
उताउली पोथी हुँदा चालले लग्ला मोरी
माया आउन बसौँ घरबार यो मनमा छ तिमीलाई दरबार माया आउन बसौँ घरबार.
The village life is a different life. Only villagers know how to make their food, how to take care of animals, and they don't have any pressure in their mind. They don't think farther what they need. That life, one of the best life. But now, if I go back to my village, I will be unhappy. I know too many jumps now.
Keshan Prasad Kafle, or KP, was born and raised in Panchan, a remote Himalayan village in Nepal. When KP was 13, he ran away from his home.
Yeah, I always thought what I will see at the other side of the mountain.
This began an odyssey that would lead from being a servant in India to a 2-year visit in California. In 1987, KP was my guide on a 2-week trek in the Himalaya. In December of 1989, he invited me to join him in a trip back to Panchan.
Steve and I, we love each other so much. So I want to show Steve how I grew up, where I grew up, what part of Nepal I grew up, and when I was heading there and I know I will be with my brothers and my family, I was really excited. My school's friend, they saw me and they recognized my face, but we cannot say, the name, but we know each other a little bit. But they think I'm a rich man now and I spend a lot of time with white people and they don't understand the white people's life. But they think I'm the same thing like American have already had been to the moon. The people, they treat me, I'm one of the triple stars.
Along the trail, local villagers stared as we passed. Many had never seen a white person before. It was a strange and uncomfortable feeling. I tried to ease the tension by waving or offering the Nepalese greeting, Namaste.
They don't shake a hand, they don't even say the Namaste. When Steve say Namaste to them, they don't answer the Namaste. They do Namaste only for someone they know.
On the evening of the third day, we arrived in Panchan at the home of KP's youngest half-brother and his family.
Family were very happy to see Steve with me. When you have some visitor, special person come and they fix the tea. Panchan is eastern part of Nepal, 4,500 feet, not far from Mount Everest. One side is mountain, but other sides everywhere hills. But we call hills those are maybe 7,000 or 8,000 feet. The mountain one is white snow mountain, maybe 25,000 feet.
The village was foreign to me in many ways. There were no roads, outhouses, running water, or electricity. More surprisingly, there were no stores, nothing to spend money on. Every family in the village engaged in subsistence farming. To the visitor's eye, it appeared a classless society. But in reality, the social structure in the villages of Nepal is very rigid. Everything is based on the caste system.
Each caste have different jobs. Brahmins are the highest caste in Nepal. They're priests. And then after Brahmin, Chetri and Joichi and blacksmith, tailor and shoemaker.
The lowest castes, including blacksmith, shoemaker, and tailor, are known as untouchable.
If the blacksmith touch the Brahmin's food, if they came inside their house, and they will be punished. Not allowed to come inside the house. They sit on our side. Untouchable touch the food. The highest caste people don't eat. Untouchable cannot even touch your body. If you have any physical contact, you have to wash your body right away. What do you think if your son or your daughter eating garbage from the garbage can? How you feel? How bad? The highest caste treats the low caste that way.
KP and his family are Brahmins. There were certain things in the home that reflected this. Inside of the house, there were 2 fire areas.
One is the holy fire. They only cook the food. And one is the fire everybody can sit down around the fire and have a heat.
The holy fire was designed to be used by Brahmins only.
I told Steve not to go there, not to even touch there. They asked first, what caste are your friend Steve? That was a little difficult. I'm a Brahmin highest caste. So we count white people, they are untouchable also. We don't eat if they touch any food. So when we walked away a little bit way to the house and no one surround us and we share the food, but the front of people we didn't share.
Returning to his village, KP was confronted by the enormous differences between the culture of his youth and that of his adult life. Trying to satisfy both cultures' expectations was very difficult for him.
Very difficult for me. I spent time in America, in India, in Nepal. I treat everybody equally. When I go back to my village, I have to act like I'm a really Brahmin. I cannot treat the independent way. The West and my village is sky and earth different. And that culture, the traditional culture, I don't think so ever will change.
Watching the villagers in their daily lives fascinated me. I couldn't help but compare their lifestyle with the life that I know in America.
The whole village, only one spring. My mother used to carry the water from there to my home. Okay. It takes, I don't know how many minutes, we don't know where the watch, but it takes quite a bit time, maybe an hour. You have to use the pottery, clay or copper pottery, and then big basket, and with rope, we call namlo, and use the forehead to carry the water.
I tried to imagine my mother lugging 50 pounds by her head up that mountain.
That's heavy, but you have to drink the water. You don't have any other choice.
With no TV, no sports or clubs, and in many cases no school, children in the village focus most of their energy on chores. One afternoon, KP and I helped his niece and nephew move the animal shelter. It was a chore KP used to do when he was a boy in Panchan.
First, you take off the old shelter and put on the floor, and then dig the holes, and then put the post holes, and then you tie it there, and you build there.
Concha was 13 years old, the same age at which KP ran away. It was like watching a younger KP doing the same chore 2 decades before.
And then you bring the animals. They poop and they pee on the ground and they stay there in the night. So that will be the fertilizer. So you have to move every 3 days, one place to another place.
KP's oldest half-brother was very sick. Based on the words of an astrologer, he believed that he was destined to die in less than a year.
When villagers get sick, they don't see the doctor. That's the problem. They don't understand the disease. If the body kills the sickness, okay, you'll be well. But the body didn't kill the sickness, you may die. Average living expecting life in Nepal is 45 to 50.
Even a villager's smile told of the lack of medical care.
They don't take care of the teeth. They don't even brush the teeth. Most men, when they're over 30, their teeth is falling out.
The school nearest Panchan is several hours long. Very few children go to school for more than 2 or 3 years. Those who do sit in classes with up to 100 students and a single teacher. School supplies are scarce and expensive. We brought along school supplies for the children in the village.
And I can tell them this is the things I bought for you, and like a pen and pencil. And I warn them always, you have to read and write when I will come back. You will see lots of villagers walking with chickens and with animal, with millet and rice, or whatever they have. People go to the market early in the morning and they return in the evening. You have to walk 5 hours just for selling something, carrying on your using the forehead, carrying the basket to get there 5 hours and then come back maybe 3 hours. It takes hell of a time, but they don't mind. They're doing now thousands of years. 5 hours is nothing for villagers. They can walk up and down those hills like a mountain goat.
As we approached the market, I could sense the energy all around me. Market day is only once a week, and people come from miles away to be there. I felt as if I had been transported to a different place and time. It was like a fantasy. I wandered through the market with my camera. Everyone seemed curious about who I was and what I was doing there. Having just spent several days in the village, I was amazed at all the goods that were available. I watched people from many villages walking arm in arm, laughing and drinking tea. I began to sense that more than just a market, this was an important social event.
They haven't seen any other supermarket, and they don't know any other things. They are doing that years and years and years. Why they should don't like? They love.
During my stay, I was fortunate to see a wedding ceremony. I had not seen any dating, intimacy, or divorce during my time in Nepal. KP explained that young Nepalese did not choose their own marriage partner.
The mom and dad will arrange everything. The house, the property, the marriage. When you marry, you have to marry the same caste.
The bride and groom barely spoke to each other during the 2-day ceremony.
Maybe they don't know each other. They don't have any relationship before marriage.
It all seemed so foreign to me. The obvious question was, what if the man and woman don't love each other?
No one say, I hate my wife. When you don't have too many things in your head, you don't have any hanky-panky, and then I think you do love. I don't know so far anybody just say the wife, get out from here, I want to divorce her. Wife didn't say to husband, I didn't have enough relationship with you and I will find out another man. I never heard that. As our stay in the village came to an end, we returned for a final look at the house where KP was born and raised. The house was really falling apart. It was very difficult for me, very hard for me to see that house. Old house, more than 100 years old. My great-grandfather built the house.
I could see him reliving his childhood as he showed me around the decaying house.
I told Steve where I born. My mom told me my birth was right there. Where my mom used to sleep and my dad. My father died now 26 years ago when I was 6. I almost cried and I told Steve I cannot stand and too sad for me. Panchan is one of the spiritual place for me. I love the village. I like really peaceful. No crowded, no cars and no airplane noise and very clean atmosphere.
When the day of our departure came, we were both sad to walk away from Panchan.
But what do you think if we stay here forever? This is our last day in this village. We don't know when we will come back to Panchan. I feel Panchan was my root. The roots hold the whole tree. The tree looks wonderful, but the roots inside keep whole tree balance. The same thing. The Panchan is my root.